Hey guys, it's Noreen O'Connor here. Today I've got a really cool technique to show you on how to create that baby boomer effect with CND shellac in a really simple way. So no pre-mixing powders, no blending shellac together, so hope you enjoy this guys. Today I'm working on a nail that already has a nail enhancement applied. If you're working on natural nails, please use the CND shellac base coat cured on the number 1 setting in the LED lamp before proceeding to the next step. When working on enhancements, we don't need to use CND shellac base coat, so I'm coming in with CND Studio White and I'm going to use the 5-point polish method to paint on a thin even coat. It doesn't matter if this coat looks streaky, as the powders we're going to use next will give full coverage. I'm going to be using the Lecenté pink and white ombre powders and a Lecenté G1 brush. Decant a little bit of each powder into the lid to make it easier to work with. I'm going to take my Lecenté G1 brush and I'm going to pack a lot of the white powder onto the belly of the brush. Be generous with this as you don't want your brush to stick to the sticky top film. Press and pat this in all over the nail. You should be aiming to cover at least half the nail when pressing and patting. Using a downward swiping motion, take any excess off, and you see this line here, you just want to try and break it by just popping the tips of the brush slightly over it and using a gentle motion, pull downwards. If you feel your brush is sticking too much, pick up a tiny bit of powder, start at the highest concentration of the powder which is towards the tip of the nail, and then work that powder back up. By the end, 3/4 of your nail should be covered with the white ombre powder. When working with the pink powder, it's important to work very sparingly. This powder is very pigmented and you don't want it to overpower your nail. You're going to pick up a tiny little bit, dust off any excess, and the next step is very important too. Press and pat around the cuticle area, but do not allow the tips of your G1 brush to go past the cuticle area. This is going to make your life so much easier when it comes to top coating and sealing everything in. If you have an excess amount of powder in the cuticle or the side walls, it will cause problems for you and you're going to end up with bald spots where the top coat hasn't successfully covered the powder. Once you're happy you've no sticky top film left that hasn't been coated with powder, really burnish the powder in all over the nail. Once you're happy with this, you're ready to move on to the next step. I'm choosing to seal this nail with CND Shellac Express 5 top coat. I'm using the CND 5-point polish method to paint a very thin coat all over, and once I'm happy with it, I'm going to cure in the 3 setting in my LED lamp. Once cured, I'm going to remove the sticky top film with 99% alcohol or disperse. Next we're going to come in and apply a thin layer of Studio White. I'm not going to use the 5-point polish method for this. First I'm going to concentrate on the cuticle area of the nail. Try and get this as tight and as neat as possible, then quickly drag the excess down the nail. Allow this to set for a little bit, just so that the shellac settles. And I can see I've got a few dark pink spots that aren't looking as smooth as they could be, so I'm just going to go back in and lightly pull out over. Using Express 5 top coat to seal in the powders as opposed to clearly pink allows for a much smoother transition. And now we're just going to leave this to settle for a few seconds and you can see we've got a really nice blend. You're going to cure that on the 2S setting and then you're just going to top coat with a top coat of your choice. I've chosen Express 5. And there you have it guys. That's my simplified way of how to do the CND Shellac baby boomers with no pre-mixing powders and still keeping that nice white tip. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.